Hey y'all, let's talk about watering. Sunday night I got 5 inches or more of rain. My rain gauge only goes up to 5 inches, so that's what I know that we had. We will not have to water for at least 3 or 4 more days with that much water. Even in my pots, they will not dry out that quickly. And so there seems to be a lot of questions about when to water our plants. And the easy answer is when they need it. And every single microclimate is different, because if you have wind and heat, your plants are going to dry out faster than people that don't have wind and heat. Now, after several years of gardening, I can tell by looking at my plants in the evening and the soil if they're going to need water in the morning or not. Starting out, I had no clue when to water, and I would have to go around the garden. Back then I had an in-ground garden. That was a lot easier. And I would have to go around the garden and feel the soil. And that's what I recommend you do. If you can stick your finger into the soil about 2 inches, 3 inches, and you feel no moisture, then you need to water. Plants do not need to water every single day unless they are in a very small pot. I had some pots a couple years ago, literally had to water them 3 times a day. And I don't have time for that, so I got rid of anything that's smaller than a 40-gallon pot. I currently water, if we have no rain, I currently water about every 3 days. And right now I don't have drip set up, so I am hand watering. For the summer, I have time to do that. And I do have drip line, and I would like to get that set up before next week, so that when I am running back and forth to a Christian convention I go to every year, that I can just come home, turn the drip on for about an hour and a half, and it'll be fine. That way I don't have to spend an hour and a half out here hand watering. I still will, of course, come out and fill Richard's pool and give him a little shower. He likes me to turn the sprinkler on for a little bit, so I'll still do that. But anyway, for your garden, the best thing that I can tell you is to water thoroughly and deeply, and then see how long it takes for it to dry out if you have no rain. And right now we're hitting only 90 to 95 degrees during the day, which I'm sure seems extremely hot to some of y'all, but for us it's a blessing, because we're used to 105 this time of the year or more. And so we're really enjoying this. And this rain that we got really cooled things down. So we're in the 80s today, and we're taking full advantage of that, being outside. I'm pulling grass, and I harvested some more of my little cucumbers, and they are very prolific. I have probably another pint jar to preserve. Keep an eye on your plants, because the worst thing is if you let them dry out too often and for too long, then they become stressed. And when plants become super stressed, they attract bugs. They attract pests, and pests will show up to take them out. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you overwater, overwatering is one of the newbie mistakes, and I did it and found out that my tomatoes hated to be overwatered. They prefer to dry out in between waterings. So I water my tomatoes very thoroughly, and sometimes only once a week. Depending on the wind and the heat, once a week sometimes is enough, even in these pots. I wish you all the best with finding a watering schedule that works for you. And then, write it down, take notes, journal. I keep a journal, and I have a calendar that I use, a planner that is phenomenal. And I write my notes in my calendar every day, and then I'll transfer that to my garden journal. Then at the end of the year, I bind up my garden journal and I save it. And I have it all the way back to the very beginning. My very first garden was 2011, and it got torched in the West Texas heat. I didn't have a clue, and it literally looked like somebody had hit it with a torch. I could not keep enough water on it, and there was no wind protection. So when those hot 115 degree winds came blazing through, it just took out the whole garden. That's why I always say I started successfully gardening in 2012. So let me know what watering schedule works best for you, and what seeds are you sowing today?